Hey, quick question for you. What time did you wake up this morning? Was it 5 a.m.? Was it 4:30 a.m.? I don't know. I woke up at like 7:15. I also woke up at 5:30, but then I was like, I want to sleep some more. Hustle is not the way to succeed in business. So if you look at Instagram, there's a lot of 24-year-olds hustling to post things on Instagram. There's no 50-year-olds who are managing $10 million, $100 million, $150 million posts on Instagram how to be successful. Let me try and dial this in for you. Waking up at 5 a.m., hustling, journaling, getting 100 push-ups in before breakfast. Like, forget all of that. Do it if you want to, but if you don't want to, don't do it. Here's the reality. There's two bookends in business. You have to be familiar with the terms that we all use about these bookends. One you're familiar with, which is getting over your skis. Keep yourself out of situations where you don't know enough about what you're talking about, don't know enough to bring a deal to someone, don't know enough about the deal you're in or the product you're selling. That's called being over your skis. What happens when you get over your skis? Obviously, you go down the mountain, you crash and die, whatever. Go to the hospital. Can't say die because people get upset. Crash, get over your skis, flip a bunch of times, and whatever. You go in the hospital. The other term you have to know about, and I love this, is phoning it in. That's right. Phoning it in, I don't know if you guys have that expression today, but what it used to mean is that you didn't attend a meeting, but you called into the meeting, right? Because you were off screwing around. And means you were doing the least amount possible. You weren't fully present and there. So if you're phoning it in or you're getting over your skis, you're at one or two of the extremes. So you want to function in the middle, but you can get stuck in the middle is the third thing. So you want to be trying really hard. You want to be making an effort. You want to be getting in meetings that are hard to get into, and you want to be selling something that you can deliver, but you're making a lot of money on, or you want to be pitching a deal and getting money for a great deal. That is going to put you into the situation called imposter syndrome. The first few times, you're going to feel like you're over your skis. Feel like the people don't accept you for what you're doing. Feel like people are challenging you too hard on what you're saying. Where have you seen this in popular culture? Correct. Goodwill Hunting. So Matt Damon, whatever his name was his name was Will. It's in the name of the movie. Whatever. Will in Goodwill Hunting is a super genius, right? But he works as a janitor at Harvard University, and he misses all these opportunities to use his intellect to move on in his career. And he has imposter syndrome. He feels like he doesn't belong with the intellectual elite, and he feels he belongs in the janitorial class. Perfect case of the imposter syndrome. So how does this affect you in deal making? You go into a meeting and the guys on the other side of the negotiation will detect some weakness in your game. Whether you have weakness on the product details, whether you have weakness on the industry, whether you have weakness on the economics, whether you have weakness on the competition and what they're doing. They're going to find something that you don't know and they're going to prey on it, right? And they're going to poke and ask you questions specifically about the things you don't know about. Believe me, you go into meetings where the stakes are high, they want to negotiate, get a lower price, better terms. You want to hold a high price and good terms. What are they going to do? Ask you questions on stuff that you have nailed, ask you questions of stuff where you have charisma, ask you questions about stuff that you know down cold. No, they're going to move the conversation into an area where you have limited knowledge and feel like they can make you stumble and unstable. Why does it work like that? Is that Machiavellian? Sure. It's called negotiation. Right? They're trying to get something from you. You are trying to get something from them. It is not a zero-sum game. In a negotiation, somebody will win. Right? If you allow them to move the frame, to pigeonhole you, to move the conversation into an area that you are weak, then you will lose the frame, you will lose the negotiation. If you keep the conversation in an area where you're strong, then you're more likely to win the good negotiation. That is called frame control. Let me give you a real example. So I have a company right now that I'm raising capital for. It's called OK Stone Engineering. And what we're doing is we're overcoming a problem called silicosis. Silicosis gives lung cancer to workers in construction environments when they machine countertops. So we have a solution for that, which reduces the possibility of getting this lung disease, silicosis. So all the time, I know everything about the finance of the deal. I know the competition. I know the market. I know the size of the market. I know what people buy. I know price points, right? So do the investors that I'm negotiating with ask me about that stuff? No, they don't. What do they ask me about? Silicosis. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a doctor. I really don't know this issue that well. My partners know it that well. Our company knows it that well. But like I'm not that skilled in that. Where does the conversation always move to? Not the stuff I know about, silicosis. So I need frame control. In order to get frame control, I have developed 2 words that are going to solve everything for you. And those words are suspend disbelief. And this is how you use it. Hey, we need some data on silicosis. How do you know that the lung disease that you cure doesn't cause a different kind of lung disease? Do you have any documentation? And have you done destructive testing that shows that the silicosis is solved by your product? Right? That is something I do not have the answers to. Could I go find them? Sure, but I'm busy on other stuff. So here's how you use the suspend disbelief. Hey, guys, I need you to suspend disbelief for the moment that everything I'm telling you about silicosis is 100% accurate. You know, later down the road, if you find that my data is not correct, or you found a countervailing data point, or somebody with a different opinion, then just bomb out of the deal. But at the moment, you know less about this than I do. And so you're going to have to suspend disbelief that my partners and our research firm and everything we know about it is as I've represented it to you in the document. You have to suspend disbelief. Let's focus on the important details. The price of the deal, the opportunity for you to invest, the timeline for you to invest, the security that you'll be buying, when we can close, and what our exit strategy is, how much return you'll get from being in the deal, and why we think this is a good security for you to be in now versus something else like tech or real estate. Let's focus on that because those are the important issues. Once we get through all that and you go, hey, we're super excited to invest, sign up some paperwork, we get an indication of interest, and then later we can dig into the silicosis. But for now, this is not something we need to focus on. Suspend disbelief that our data is correct, and let's focus on the important stuff. That's how I get back frame control. That is how I deal with imposter syndrome, where somebody doesn't reposition me from an area that I'm strong into an area that I'm weak. So 2 recommendations for you. 1, watch Goodwill Hunting. Why? Because it's a great movie. 2, don't get over your skis. Don't phone it in. Push really hard. And when somebody tries to make you feel like an imposter, push back and so say, hey man, you need to suspend disbelief that my data is correct. Let's focus on what's important. That's going to put you in winning negotiations.